Hey y'all, welcome back to Hopped Up Beer Review. Today we are drinking Slush by Prairie Artisan Ales out of McAlester, Oklahoma. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer, where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer we're drinking and reviewing. Thanks for joining us once again. If this is your first time, we appreciate you checking us out. If this is your second through however many times, appreciate you joining us as well. I've got Andy in the attic. I've got Jay. What are we drinking today, gentlemen?
Slush or Slush. Sour ale by Prairie Artisan Ales out of McAlester, Oklahoma is current. We've said before it's from Krebs, Oklahoma City.
I'm not tapping mine.
Don't tap that, Ben. And just looking to tap anything he can get his hands on. Ben, didn't you provide this?
No.
Or did Jay?
No.
Ben does not have access to Prairie.
I do not.
I didn't know in his travels.
Nope.
This is in a multi-pack of sours that we had gotten.
Ah, that's right.
So, it's their one of their core beers, if I'm not mistaken.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Phew.
Good bit to unpack there, huh?
Yeah. This 6.1% sour ale is strawberry and raspberry puree, and it's finished with fresh lemon and lime zest. And I'm guessing that's the lemon and lime zest that's just making you back up a bit. So originally it was to be a quarterly release, but it was very popular, so they made it a year-round beer. So, as you were saying, it's a core. So
we've reviewed Prairie several times, and
a bunch of Prairie. Go back and look. Hopefully Ben will not be lazy and put a link to the very first one, the Spicy Pickle Monster, to learn a little history of it. Back then we said it was from Krebs, Oklahoma, but I think they've moved the main operation to brewing to this. We had a little discussion of how to pronounce it. McAlester seems like the proper thing. I don't think this will come through, but you know, we said it could be McAlester, or I think the coolest one is McAlester.
Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, their tap room is in Oklahoma City, so
room,
if you want to go somewhere and visit them, that's
the only place y'all can get to is in Oklahoma City. They won't let you into their brewery.
So they're known for a lot of their specialty sours and their specialty stouts.
And just for the record, Andy was having that conversation with himself. Jay and I had no input as to what the name might be. He was just, you know.
Because y'all were on mute. So
good clarification there, Ben.
Yes. We're muted.
Yep.
That might appear in the outtakes. You never know.
Never know. Never know.
I do find the artwork interesting as to why did they choose
a severed leg?
The rattlesnake, a pencil, and is that what is that at the bottom of the S? Is that like a
pipe?
A pipe. Okay.
So that's
smoke. That's smoke coming out of the pipe. And then handcuff with chains on it.
Yep. Shackles.
I mean, who was the brown note? Who is that from?
Oh, that's against the grain. Out of
against the grain.
Against the grain. Okay.
Louisville.
Yeah. Never mind. Because they had a severed leg like tattoo or something on
Yeah.
that can art. So
No,
that's
Prairie
why.
has some pretty good can art across the board with theirs. If you remember the spicy pickle monster, it had had the big, almost fish looking thing.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
a lot of their others as well.
looking at it closer, it seems like something like some kid in junior high is doodling during class. Because now looking at that pencil with the green on the eraser, it just makes me think it's pretty juvenile. So yeah, that's some junior high doodling in like history class or something like that. Just not paying attention.
Yeah.
Pretty cool work.
Mhm. All right. Let's get to reviewing. Jay, since you provided this, have you had it before? I mean,
Of
you
course.
have more access to Prairie than we do. So
Yeah, I had this one well before I bought the multi pack. So
okay.
given it was one of their
Right.
cores.
Gotcha. So you get to go last. Andy, you or me? You want to go first? You want me to go first? I'll let you
Now
choose
you go
this time.
first.
Okay.
It's you. It's all you.
All right. So definitely we've had a lot of interesting beer from Prairie. You know, some of it I have really liked, some of it I have not liked so much. Spicy Pickle Monster being one that was not one of my favorites. And then I think though this is probably the first one for me that kind of comes somewhere in the middle. I think it's I feel like the flavor that I get out of it is, as you mentioned, Andy, that kind of lemon lime zest is really, you know, kind of the flavor that I pull out of it, and not a whole lot more. So for me, it's kind of, this is going to sound probably weird, but it's kind of like the Sprite of beer. You know, it just kind of, it's okay. I think that the other beers that we've had from them, other than Spicy Pickle Monster, for me, have been, you know, on the better side. You know, they have a lot more flavor, a lot more punch. This one to me is a little more of the kind of dulled back, or bland's not the right word, but that's kind of where it leans compared to their other stuff. So for me, I'm going to give it a 6.5. I think it's okay. I definitely would drink it again. I don't have any qualms about it, but it's not the punch that I have gotten from their other beer to make me either really like them or really not like them. You know, it's just kind of that middle of the road for me.
Yeah, I can't pull out strawberry much from it. I get a lot of lime.
Yeah.
And I'm not offended by lime, but I think it's just it's a little too overbearing. I want to get more raspberry out of it. I like that in a sour. And it's not off-putting, but it's not like some of their others that we've had. Um, so it's just a little too much of that citrusy lime. I was thinking about the same as you've been, 6.5. It's the middle, you know, it's nowhere as esteemed as a Spicy Pickle Monster, as high level as that, but you know, not as falling a little short of things on the Neapolitan or something like that. So 6.5.
All right, Jake.
All right. Yeah, I think the word you look for there, Ben, is mainstream. To me, I think if they're, you know, they made this as a limited seasonal quarterly, and then it appealed to a lot of people, and they made it one of their cores. Um, it, that would be what it is to me, is more of a mainstream type sour. It's not as extravagant as some of their others, or as creative and unique, you know, as something like the pineapple whip or things like that they've done that, that really just kind of stand out and are unique. To me, yeah, I agree with you, Andy. The citrus overpowers the strawberry raspberry, which is what I would really like to have more in it. Um, and it's kind of hard to distinguish and unpack all of it in there, or differentiate it. So ironically, it's the number that was in my head prior to even both y'all rating it was a 6.5. So pretty easy.
Wow. In agreement. That is going to give us a 6.5 for the Slush out of Prairie Artisan Ales in Oklahoma. Yeah, I think as we kind of talked here just in the little break we had, that this may be the first beer that we've all agreed at kind of that middle of the road number, 6.5 being somewhat middle of the road for our 10-point scale, close to it. Usually if we agree, it's like a really high number, typically, but yeah, I think this is definitely as Jay said, probably appeals more to the masses, and that's why they made it their one of their core beers. So definitely check it out. Let us know if you've had it. We'd love to hear some feedback from you guys. Check us out on social media. Links are below. Come say hey in Discord. We'd love to see you there at the Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. And hey, if you've made it this far, be sure to like, subscribe, and cheers that notification bell if you've not done so already. We would really appreciate that. For Andy in the attic and Jay, I am Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mates.